Hey guys, it's Pete Vance here with Broce Broom, and today we're going to be doing a broom assembly replacement. So we're going to show you guys how to take this out, whether you're just replacing the brushes, the wafers themselves, or the whole core, the whole mechanism. We're just going to show you how to get this thing out of there, do that replacement, and then get it back in. So we're going to start on this side. This is the opposite side of the brush motor. So we're going to start by grabbing our 3/16 Allen wrench, and right down in here, there's that right there. We're just going to loosen it up a little bit. And then we're going to rotate the brush until we see this hole right here. We're going to grab our punch and a hammer, and we're going to hammer this clockwise, just enough to loosen it up like that. And we're just going to slide this off. If that doesn't come off as easy, this rod right here might have gotten some rust or some dirt from being out on the road. You might have to just polish that up or sand it or whatever to clean that up a little bit to make sure it slides well. Next, you're going to grab your ratchet, and you're going to just clean these out. Okay. Okay, now that we got this off, we're just going to slide this piece right there. And then, so that's all set. Let's go to the other side, get it off there, and we'll bring the whole thing out. Okay, so we're on the other side. We've already disattached everything over there. So here we're just going to grab this crowbar, we're going to shove it right down in the middle here, and we're going to give it a nice strong pull to kind of shove it off of this rod on this side. Okay. Now once we hear that drop and feel that, we can go back on the other side and pull it all the way out. So now that it's off on that side, and this whole assembly is off, we're just going to pull it all the way out. So you might have to wrestle with it a little bit, but okay, there we go. Now we're going to talk you through the couple different ways to strip this and replace all the wafers. Okay, so now that we have our brush out of the broom, we got to figure out how to strip the wafers off and put the new ones back on. So if you're out in the field or something, or in a shop that isn't super well equipped, you can do this manually. So what you do is come down to this end, and you're going to take off all your bolts. Now once you have this bell end cap off, you can start stripping down your broom, taking your wafers off. However, that is going to be pretty intense to do manually. There's a lot of these on here. So the better way to do it is actually to come, after you've taken the bell end cap off that side, come to this side, where hopefully you have one of these handy little hooks that we make and sell, this guy. And what you're going to do is you're going to take, same thing, take your end cap off, and then you're also going to take this off. Then you take this, you put this back on, So then now that we got our handy hook on the end here, we're going to bring over, whether you have a forklift or a hoist or something like that, we're going to chain it up, he's going to lift it up, and after that, this brush right here, because it's new, the bristles will fall off real easily. If you have an older brush that's been out in the field working, you're going to have some mud in there and dirt and all that, and you're probably going to have to work a little harder to get all those brushes off. But so this one we left the end cap on so it won't fall off, but once you hook it up, you're just going to lift it up and then strip it all down. It'll be easy as pie. Okay. So from this angle you can see obviously now you have gravity working with you, and so you can just strip all these down. It'll be much easier than doing it manually. So once you've stripped all the wafers off of your mandrel, this is what you're left with, just the steel core. And so again, you can do it manually to load all the pieces on the ground, but we do carry stands like you're seeing in the bottom that let this stand up straight like that, so you can get on top and load your wafers from here. Now, there's two important things to note. All cores start with the same pattern. So they start with 2 poly wafers in a row, followed by 1 spacer. After that, you're going to go in whatever configuration you have, with whatever, whether they're poly or the metal or convoluted or whatever. But you're always going to start with 2 straight poly wafers and then a spacer. And the other important thing is to see is in these wafers, you can see there's a little tooth here. So that's what's going to keep them from free spinning on this core. So when you put this in, you're going to go in between 2 of these bars right here. And as you put it on, you're going to want to rotate which position they're in. It's called clocking. So this first tooth, I'm going to put in the middle of these 2 right here. And I'm going to send that all the way down. Now the next one, here against my tooth, I'm going to move to the next section, which is this one to the right, and I'm going to put that right there. Now the spacers don't have any teeth, so just put that on. And then as you continue to fill up your core, you're going to keep going space by space with spacing those teeth out, so then when you start brushing, the brush doesn't get overloaded, too heavy on one side, and start bouncing or skipping or anything like that. So you're just going to keep filling it up all the way till you're top, and we're going to show you what to do at the very end to finish off your broom. So now that we have our full core, we're going to top it off just like how we started it. So after our once we start getting close to the top, 4 or 5 inches away, we're going to cap it off. So we're going to put 1 spacer in, and then 2 more wafers. And remember to keep clocking, so I'm on this section. And then my last one is over here. Okay, that looks pretty good and full. So now we're going to bring our end cap and our bolts. And then when we're done with this, we're actually just going to tip it on over so it just falls on the ground. And then we're going to drag it over to our broom. We're going to install our brand new brush. So even though this job can be a little bit tedious and a little bit labor intensive because you're working with such a big component, it's not all that difficult. So now one thing you want to just make sure of is that you didn't leave too much space at the top here. So if you grab a couple of these wafers and you try to give them a jerk, you can see they're not going to rotate or anything around. That means that they're all pressed down nice and tight, and you'll make sure you're going to get a good sweep. So we're all done here. We've capped it off. We filled it all up. Brand new bristles. And yeah, so we're just going to dump it on over and then load it onto our broom. Okay, so now that we have our new core on the ground, lined up, new brushes, all that, we're going to shove it in again, just where we brought it out. And then we're going to go to the other side, where it's kind of the most finicky part. So we're going to make sure we get this right and let you guys know exactly what you're looking for. But we just want to make sure we mount it on the brush motor again correctly. But let's get it in there, and then we'll talk you through on the other side. Okay, so now that we got this shoved in here, like you can see, we're up against the motor. So what we want to do now, we could manually lift it, but it's kind of a huge hassle. So we're going to bring this floor jack in, get it under our brush right here, and we're going to lift it up so it's lined up with the motor. Okay, there we go. Now inside what's happening is something really important. So you have your drive, spindle hub, and kind of the receiver. And so we need those to really fit together perfectly, because that's what's actually going to power the broom to brush, to rotate it. And if that's not sunk in really nicely, then it's going to be too little of a connection, and it's going to tear that up, and it's going to ruin it. So we're going to teach you a few tricks how to make sure it's seated perfectly, so you have no problems going down the road. Now that we have it lined up with the motor inside there, we want to make sure that we bring the actual mechanism down. So we're going to float it down so that the motor is lined up perfectly symmetrically inside the hub on that side. So we're going to stop it a little bit before that, but there's a better way to tell over here. So if you see in here, you just want this to be centered where it's all even all the way around, which looks about right. So I'm going to finagle and try to slide this on. And there we go. So that should be pretty good. Now we want to really, really make sure that it's all the way on perfectly so we don't wear that out. So the best way to do that is to get a tape measure. We're going to bring this tape measure right in here, inside the hubcap. And we're going to push it all the way through until you hit the wall in the back. Right there. And you want it to measure 13 inches. That's perfect. If it's anything over 13, any more than just a little bit, then you're not totally on, and you're going to need to either pull it on or use the crowbar on the other side to push it on. But that's the most reliable way to measure it, is to get it in there. And as long as that's 13 right to the end here, you're all set. So now that we know that's good, we're going to go back over to this other side and finish reattaching it, and then we're all good. So now that we're back over here, we're going to get this lined up. Drop these. Bottom up. Put these bolts all the way through. We're going to hand tighten these down. Start. Just make sure these are nice and tight. Okay. Now we're going to put this baby back on. So just like we took it off clockwise, we're going to hammer it back on counterclockwise. Like that. And then just retighten this Allen wrench up. And there we go. So that's all set. You've just done your brush core replacement, and you're ready to go. Another 100 hours or so on this new brush. Enjoy. Good sweeping.